Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. Just kind of continuing from our last live stream where we were stripping down this Longines. Gotta be able to get this ticking today. We'll see how the day goes. Evening, Hassan. How you doing? Yeah. Just a heads up, I'm not going to be about next week, so I'm trying to get as much done as possible now, which will include this Longines and a few other jobs. But I'm going to be away next week. I'll be back on the 15th or 12th. It's the weekend, so yeah, maybe I'll do something on the weekend. I'll return. We shall see. And yeah. Let's make sure my cameras are all set up. The focus is right. We'll be live for a few hours today. As I said, hopefully get this ticking. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do anything else now until I get back. So, no. Bit of time off next week. I'll get straight into it. So it's now just on 9. Got our base plate. Obviously the first thing I typically do is do the keyless, but I just want to get the balance out. Ooh, I need my Rodico. Sorry if you can hear a fan in the background. It is really warm here at the moment, so that's going to be running for the entirety of the stream. I'm afraid it's just too warm. There we go. About a week since I was last live, so sorry for disappearing for a little bit. It's been a very busy few weeks. I was trying to get everything cleared before next week. It's just been very busy. I've still got a few days to get some bits done, hopefully including this Longines 2892. Get the focus right. Where did I put the stem? I need the winding and sliding pinions. Let me just get those out. I'm also going to need all of the keyless stuff. Okay, winding pinion. Sliding pinion. Yoke. Sorry, just getting everything out. Okay, I'm just looking for my crown and stem. Get a little bit of grease on there. Sorry if you hear any background noise, it sounds like there's some bins being collected outside. But I need the door open because it's very warm. There we go. Stem is in position. Turn off all those lights. So just flipped it over. So now we can focus on getting the keyless assembled. So I've already picked out our yoke. Sorry, that's our yoke, that's our setting lever. So I've got some magnetism on my tweezers, so I might deal with that shortly. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I know there's been we've got a lot of new people on the channel. Been uploading a lot more this month. To kind of put it into perspective, the channel for the past, I guess, year and a bit that I haven't been doing anything, been averaging about 20,000 views a month. This month we're probably going to be hitting about 80,000, so the return has been well received, and hopefully long may it continue. Get our yoke in position. That's our setting lever spring. Fiddle to get that lined up, but keyless is now assembled. Everything engages. So I'll make sure that was torqued down. Oh, I didn't get my eyeglasses out. Light aside. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Just going to grease up all points of contact for the keyless. The keyless assembled. 1 second. Okay, so keyless is assembled. Next I'm going to construct our barrel. Then it'll be a case of barrel bridge, drain, escapement, balance. It's easy as that. So we'll put that aside for the time being. Here is our barrel. Again, I will be hand winding the mainspring. First, let's get this greased up. So I do have another main channel video in development. If you've watched some of the previous live streams, you know I've got a JW Benson, a broken balance staff, cases all filled with holes. So the case has now been prepared, all of the holes are filled, the balance has been restaffed. I just need to check some tolerances. We're going to change the hands, I haven't decided yet. Thinking about putting on some Breguet hands. I need to source some. That will be when I return from holiday, about mid-August. Excuse me. So that won't be for a few weeks. And with me not being around next week, I'm hopefully going to have 2 or 3 shorts ready to upload or scheduled for upload next week. So there's at least something going up on the channel. Yeah, there won't be a main video or any live streams. This may be the last one until the middle of August. I'm not sure if I'll go live tomorrow, or quite what I'll do. Right. Change the camera angle a little bit. This here is our mainspring, and I'm going to hand wind it in to find the right way up. And grab the end, try and pinch it. Slide it in. And yeah, the first coil is always the tricky one. Once you've made that first coil, it's actually relatively easy. Oh, it's not quite in. Give me 1 second once I get this properly hooked. I thought I had it for a second, but evidently not. Be a bit fiddly. Okay, there we go. So now I have that few coils in place. So that's actually relatively easy. As long as the start. Still have a chance if I lose my grip. This mainspring is going to fire out and shoot the barrel across the room. So keep tension at all times, holding the mainspring down. Usually I'm using my thumbs, just to make sure it doesn't ping out and hit me in the face. There we go. That's our mainspring in the barrel. So have a quick drink. Quite parched. Let's get my barrel cap closing tool. And that's this. But we do first have to grease our barrel arbor, so make a little stand on our rodico. Grab our barrel arbor, just stick it at the top, and I'm going to apply just a little bit of grease to where the bearings are. Okay, grease added. Back onto the mainspring. Oh, try not to lose my barrel arbor. And that is in. So make sure actually locked and engaged. Which it is not, so I'm just going to play around until I get it in. I think I've now locked it in place. Nearly, just a tiny bit more. There we go. Yep, it's in. Hey there, Von Krell. How you doing? Hope you are doing well. And hello, Ross Jackson. Ross from Ardrasan. Hope you are all doing well. You probably weren't here earlier. I'm not going to be around next week, so this might be my last stream until the middle of August. Hopefully I'll get some shorts up scheduled for next week. And I've got a main channel video in development, but it's not going to be ready, realistically, until I return. So I'm just greasing up barrel cap. Nice snapping sound, which is the barrel cap closing. Ooh, quite a lot of grease on that oiler. It's gonna just take a little bit. And that's for the bearing for the barrel. Just a little bit of grease. A little bit more. So I'm using a micro oiler just to pick up just a tiny amount at a time. Don't want to flood it. But I hope everyone is doing well. It's now what, end of July, soon into August. So just getting the ratchet, because the ratchet sits on top of the barrel for this. It's a little bit marked. Tell us your cleaning procedure. Movement looks really good. I mean, I say that my cleaning procedure is relatively straightforward and basic for watchmaking. Obviously, as I'm stripping down, I try and give things a bit of a pre-clean, so make sure the jewels are pegged out, make sure any residue is wiped away, and then it's put through a ultrasonic cleaning machine, and that's really it. I put it through maybe a few times because I think the cycling on my machine isn't right. I mean, I know it's not correct, but I'll run it through maybe 2 or 3 times so it comes out squeaky clean. And what I use is, what is it? One clean cycle, 2 rinse. So clean, rinse, rinse, dry. Weather comment: had 5 non-consecutive days of sunshine this year up till now. Yeah, it's been really warm. Working in London hasn't been too fun because of it. Obviously commuting on the train isn't pleasant when it's warm. It's hot and you pack like sardines. The workshop's also quite hot. My arm's like sticking to the bench. Right, so I've putting the great wheel in place. Cleaning the machine, something I dream of. Yeah, I got really lucky with my one. I'm pretty sure I've told everyone like how much I paid and when I got it, because it's an old grinder ultrasonic. It's a very robust machine, and I managed to pick it up for just over £2,000, which for the money is like insane. I think newer versions of this brand are going for like 17 grand. So it's an older model, but I only paid just over 2, which I'm very happy with. An ultrasonic food dehydrator can get the job. Oh, yeah, sorry, it can get the job done for sure. Absolutely, you can get it done. Yeah, pre-clean all the pegs, just peg out all the jewels and just make sure any can get like thick oil and greases wiped away prior. Will make life so much easier. Hey there, Noel. How you doing? I swear I've been a little bit missing in action lately. It's been about a week. But I will be back. Well, for today at least. And I'm off next week and I'll be back middle of August. And then the grind continues. So for the 2824, the barrel bridge will house everything underneath. So you have to assemble from the underside. Whereas obviously on like the 2824 or the Rolex 3 ones, the winding mechanism will be placed on top of the barrel bridge. Like the 3 ones, it's got its own independent like bridge for the crown wheel, but you know what I mean. Doing good, how about you? I'm doing well. A little hot and sticky. Other than that, can't complain. It's just quite warm here. You probably hear the fan in the background. Let's get some grease applied here. I'm loving the fact I'm starting to see like regulars in the chat now for live streaming. It's pretty cool seeing a little community kind of build. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, so plenty of time to build it up even more. It's 32 degrees here today, hot enough for me. It's too hot, especially if you're working. Yeah, I think it was in the high 20s today. I'm not sure how hot it was in the workshop today, but it felt very warm in the workshop. Felt very warm. I'm not sure I've got the right wheel here. This setup's a little bit different. So I'm just looking at the training wheels at the moment. 17 degrees for us, that sounds far more suitable. Enjoying the explanation, Jap. That's what adds to your presentation. Yeah, it is definitely a big perk for live streaming where everyone can kind of share their thoughts and give advice. That takes the edge off me as well. Yeah, 17 degrees, high teens, I'll take that. That sounds rather pleasant. Okay, let me just find everything I need for this. You go there. I know I say it quite a lot, but it feels like so long since I've been doing some of these movements. Used to them all the time. Now all I seem to be doing this Rolex. It's not bad, but it's no variety. There we go. By the way, in my ultrasonic I use a product called Liquinox. That's a new one on me. Ratio in 1:100 ratio of distilled water. Do you get good results with that? imagine you do. You can see the tweezer tips. I can show you my tweezers. These are an old modified pair of number 5s. I know we've talked about these tweezers before. Dumont number 5. I've actually got a few tweezers that I've inherited lately. I'll show you them. So we've got, we're closer to a pair of number 5s. These are meant to be number 5s. They're still cut short, but not as short as my current number 5s. So these are both the same brand, same number, both number 5s. You can see the length difference. So yeah, these are the ones. The short ones are the ones I typically use all the time, and you can see how far they've been filed down or ground down. Usually it's because the tips will break, and to make them usable, you'll just grind down the ends. Even this pair of number 5s, still not quite. I guess as long as they should be. Should come out to about here. So missing a few millimeters. So I've now got a much finer pair of number 5s. My pair of number 5s that I use. Another Dumont. An angle pair. And these bad boys. Not Dumont, but one I'm not familiar with, Sisso. I haven't heard of this brand, so I'm not sure if you guys have either, but just a few of the tweezers I've acquired. I've also got a pair of brass tweezers. I know someone left a comment on my recent video was having to use, or saying I should get a pair of brass tweezers to use because of, I guess, leaving marks on plates. An issue I've never really had, and at this time, I mean, I've had these tweezers since day one, and they've become an extension of my hand basically, so I very much doubt I'm ever going to be able to change. I would be very sad if I lose this pair of tweezers. So I'm just trying to find this little cover plate. Where are you? So I have to excuse my humming as I'm looking for bits. Where the hell is it? Okay, I know where you are. Basically, there's a plate that will sit over these three wheels. I'm trying to find it. It's hiding somewhere. Oh, nope, I got it. There we go. For a second I thought I misplaced it, I lost it. Length, don't care, shows good use. I mean, yeah, it's not the end of the world that they've been shortened. They function perfectly fine. But obviously, different grades and different finesses will be used for different purposes. These much stockier modified pair of number 5s are good just for general use. Not so good for hairspring work, so I've now got a much finer pair of number 5s. But for general use, these are pretty good. Can't make much comment, only been learning since 2022. YouTube, Mark Lovick Learning. You're just starting out really then here, a few years into it. Have you worked on many movements? Are you still acquiring tools and equipment? The joys of watchmaking. I started by watching Mark, no intention to take it up myself at the time. Little did I know. Yep. That's how it gets you. That's how it gets you. It is quite the rabbit hole, this industry. It sucked you in. Alright, so that plate will cover those 3 wheels. Tool addict I am. Same. I think we all are. New tools, new equipment. This is seemingly where I always get a screw wrong. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming. They're not full ill before going away next week. That would suck. So I'm just looking through some screws. There's a very, very small screw that holds this plate down. It's very, very similar to some other screws. I just want to make sure I don't get the wrong one. Alright, I think this is our guy. Screw that down. I'm taking a break from buying tools. I've made some great acquisitions this year and still have a lot to learn about using the tools I've acquired already. Honestly, it never stops. My dad, who's been in the industry now for what, 40 odd years, he's still looking at tools that he's wanting to learn how to use. It doesn't stop. I DIY a lot of my tools, doing well. Yeah, a lot of the tools you can modify and make, and if they work, then fantastic. I have no idea for a tool that delivers a consistent and adjustable length impulse to the regular arm of the balance. I have no idea for a tool that delivers a consistent and adjustable length strength impulse to the regulator arm of the balance. Are you just referring to the actual regulation arm? Okay. I don't even think there is a tool for it. I've always just used my screwdriver, like a red screwdriver. No, do you place screws separate? No. No. I don't anymore. I sometimes will if it's a very different movement and all the screws are different, and there's like shouldered screws of different depths, and what I might do is as I'm stripping down, I'll put the screws back in the base plate just so there is no way I can muck it up. The other screw, I started doing this a few years back. The only other screw that I will now keep separate is the balance screw, so the balance cock screw. I'll always keep that aside. No, you can't, but yeah, I'll always keep like the balance screw or screws if it's a bridge separate. I think I had a bad, or not a bad instance, but like an incident where I had an incorrect screw and there's a slight difference with the balance cock screw, and I had to go digging in the bridge screws looking for the right one. Alright, never again, we'll just keep that one separate. So this is the click spring I'm just putting in. And that's what's going to hold the power. But no, I don't keep screws separate now, or at least for most calibers that I work on personally. Okay. Oh, sorry. Get your little nudge there. Balance screw, same as you learn to keep it separate. Yeah, that's the one screw that I'll keep separate as I'm stripping down a watch now. Thankfully it's only like 1 or 2 screws, so it's never a big deal or issue. Some will screw many of the screws back in and leave them in for cleaning. Yeah, I've done that. I have done that. Obviously, if it's really dirty and bad, then you have to clean it separately, but otherwise, just keep them in the plate. Right, put a bit more grease on that arbor bearing. Oh, I've got the wrong pair of tweezers in my hands. That did not feel right at all. It's actually kind of crazy. The tweezers will feel different if they're not my favourite pair. Just growing so accustomed to how it feels. Don't have to look at the tweezers now, it just feels different if they're not right. If you know, you know. I'm just kind of waffling. Okay, so when I put the barrel bridge in, this jewel here is for the great wheel, which is why I put the great wheel in place. Okay. Put a bit of pressure down, give it a few winds. I'll give it a few winds just to make sure all of the gears are engaging properly. Have to add that I keep the pallet screw separate. They usually have a flatter head, yeah. There's a good comment about getting the feel of tweezers. We'll shut up. We'll shut up now and let you work. No, it's all good. Don't stress it. I'm quite happy. That's why I stream, to do the talking. As long as you guys are happy, just to, you know, endure a long assembly process. This isn't going to be the most efficient work ever, so. But yeah, I can understand why you want to keep the pallet screw separate. Usually, they have a fatter head, because what you don't want is the balance wheel to hit the head of the screw. No, I can take over. The stage is yours. Yeah, we usually chat a fair bit here. Alright, so 3 screws just to hold down this bridge. One, two, and 3. I'm just going to keep my finger on the barrel bridge just to make sure it doesn't pry up as I'm screwing down. It does happen sometimes. Make sure they're torqued so they don't come loose. Sweet. So barrel bridge is sorted. And we've already got the great wheel in, so there's not really that much for the train. There's a sneeze that's just at the back of my throat. It's waiting for it to hit me. It's going to hit me out of nowhere. So I apologise if I give you a jump scare. It's right there, tip of my nose. Oh, it's going to hit me anytime. But until then, we shall move on to the train. Get a little bit of oil set in preparation for the centre wheel. Ooh, a chronograph. Is this any similar to an SW500? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Nowhere near similar. What I'm working on at the moment, it's not a chronograph per se. This is just a standard automatic 2892. The chronograph is its own unit which sits on top of this movement. So it's basically, the chronograph function is a piggyback system that you'll put on top of this movement. It's the best way I can describe it. I'll get the movement, oh sorry, the chronograph section. So that's this. If I flip it over. Yeah, I'm not touching this. We're gonna leave this well be alone. If this needs issues, or if this needs working on, then this can go to Longines to do. I'll do the movement, the 2892. I'm not touching the piggyback. No, it's nothing similar to an SW500 or 7750. Those calibers have a built-in chronograph function into their movement. This is just piggybacking off of a already established automatic movement. It's a fake chronograph. Fake. It's not fake, but yeah. Looks lovely. Yeah, the dial and hands look amazing. I do love the blue hands against the white dial. The two sub-dials, the two chronograph sub-dials. It's lovely. Distracted. Get back onto what we're doing. Got a much longer pivot on our third wheel. That's part of our friction piece device. That's going to engage somewhere into the chronograph. A bit confusing with the -2 and the A2, yeah. I understand this, it can be a bit confusing. All the different references. Not fake to me. I mean, it's not fake, it is a chronograph and it will function as a chronograph. It's just that the movement itself is, it's a cheat. Rather than create a chronograph caliber, they adapt a chronograph system to plant on top of an already established movement. I mean, it's smart, because the 2892 is already established, isn't it? It's commonly used, kind of like the 2824. So you just, house a chronograph unit on top. Right, this is our train bridge. Just gonna try and get this. Let me get the jewels in place and I'll be with you. There we go. Okay, it's a bit fiddly. Nice. Right, power is going through, all the way through the train. Never seen this movement. So interesting. It's different to like a 2824. A little different. So one screw holding that one down. Saw a tiny bit of debris on our train bridge. If I can class this as a bridge, it's more of a cock. Obviously a bridge having two fixed points and a cock just hanging there. Let's get to oiling. So thick, 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 and light. And the same on the dial side. There we go. Flip her over and do dial side. Okay, so thick light 2010. Oh no, 9010. 9010 is the light, which I'll use on the escape wheels, and then 9104 is the thick, which I'll use on the great wheel, third wheel, and centre wheel. 9010. Beautiful. Oops, sorry, don't worry. No need to apologise. I know what you mean. I know which one you're referring to. I'm not sure if there is a 2010. But power's going through. So next we'll get the pallets in. Excuse me, my nose is just... Yeah, HP 1300 is one I've always used. So I can't say I've really used D5. HP 1300 or 9104 is just what I've always used, and it has worked perfectly well for the past decade, so I shall continue to use it. Where is my pallet bridge screw? Yeah, somewhere. Unless Noel's taken it. Noel might have taken my screw. Give it back. Ah, there it is. Give it a few winds. Power goes through the pallets, which we love to see. That's why I love learning on YouTube. Books defeat me. I feel that. I use 901 light, D5 medium, and Monaco DX grease. D5 equivalent 1300. Yes, I use 9010, 9104 HP 1300, 941 for the pallets. For the greases, I typically use A2, 8300. which are more like clock greases really, but they've worked perfectly well for the likes of barrels and metal on metal contact. You're lucky it re-entered the atmosphere and landed right back. I'll count my lucky stars on that one. I was fearing I was going to have to sweep the floor for a second. Maybe I lost it. For the pallet stones I have 9415, some minor differences from 941 I guess. I'm not sure what those differences would be, but yeah, it must be very minor. Okay, so we've got power going through the train, it's engaging well with our pallets turn over, so I'm now going to use 941 to oil the stone faces for the pallets. Didn't really pick up any oil there. There's one downside to the micro oiler. When the oils are really thin, you can't pick up a lot. It's good for like thicker greases or medium greases, but big magnet time? No. Oh, no. Maybe a big anti-magnetic time, but no. Unless you're referring to the big magnet to sweep the floor. In which case, yes. Yes to using a magnet when looking for things on the floor. Amount of times that saved my butt from hours of looking on the floor. One more. I think that should suffice. Yeah, it's good. I'll take that. I like the fact that your oiling is light. I like to think that my oiling and greasing is quite moderate and it's adequate. I know one of the comments on the YouTube video was that I used too much on the barrel. I think that my grease and oil application is more than adequate. I don't think I'd overdo it on the barrel either. From Mobius, synthetic HP oils 9101, 9102, 9103, 9104. Preferentially in use for ruby bearings. For brass bearings we recommend micro bliss D4 or D5. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for jewel bearings, yeah. 9415 is supposed to be better for high beat. Okay. So I guess for standard stuff like this, yeah, 941 would be fine. Doubt it matters a lot. I don't think so, personally. I would have to be using a lot of grease to be overdoing it. But I think that there's yeah, small differences. 941, 9415. I imagine for the higher beat stuff, maybe a much finer oil will be used, but yeah. So this is now the fun part where we can hopefully see the balance tick. We've got some power, everything is oiled and greased. Oh. There we go. Oh, okay. Don't forget there are no jewels in position yet, so it wants to go, but there's a little bit too much resistance. There's no jewels in place. So let's get that screwed in, and then we can oil the balance jewels. It wants to tick. It wanted to go for a brief moment there. Alright, let's get these jewels oiled. So we're going to make, let's try and center you up. You know what I'm doing here, I'm making a little platform for the jewel caps so that they don't go anywhere. Just 1 second. So I was trying to get this jewel out, so it's stuck. There we go. Got it. My tick is usually an hour down the line. Surely not. No. I believe you get it much quicker than that. Unless you've lost something, you're looking for something, in which case, yeah, it could take an hour or two, maybe 3, depending on what it is it's pinged. Right, first jewel done. Just move that side. This is one of the cool gems I picked up about the oiling on the Rodico. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure how many other people do it like this. This is a method that I've just taught myself, so I'm not actually sure how others do it. I was talking to one of the ladies that I work with who's now starting out servicing mechanical watches. She's been taken on as a technician, so she's doing like moving exchanges and kind of stuff like that. She's now starting to do servicing, and I've taught her this like little trick with Rodico just to hold the jewel in place. She said thankfully she hasn't had anything go wrong at the moment without using Rodico. It was like she's able to just oil it on the surface of her mat. So, you know, just in case, because it happened with me when I started out. stick to your oiler. Boom, done. No drama, easy. Exactly. Never seen it done that way. Try it tomorrow. Honestly, it's... I started doing it and I've never turned back. It's like... it can be such a time saver. You don't want to press it deep into the Rodico. What you're doing is just resting it on top. And there's enough grip from the Rodico that it will hold your cap from basically sticking to your oiler. I'll have to ask some of the fellas at work how they oil their jewels, because yeah, just put it at the top of your Rodico. That's not going anywhere now. Okay, I've got a little bit on there, but a little bit more. So oil is in place, didn't stick to my oiler. And now we can just boom, done. And we're 2 for 2. No fuss, no drama, just nice easy oiling. You do have gem sticks, but this way looks good. Yeah, this is a very easy way of doing it. It'd be interesting to see how other watchmakers do it, because I do hear this is something that I've heard just around the workshop. I think it's with Amiga, and one of the lead technicians I'm not sure if he's still there or if this is going back years, but he was so against the use of Rodico in general that you were basically kicked out if you were caught using Rodico. That's yeah, some of the stories I hear. You do get some people where it's their way or no way. Thankfully I don't work with anybody like that, but I know that they're out there. I know that they exist. Turn it over, and immediately, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is ticking. But yeah, you can see, where is it? Here we go. You can see the pallets going, the escape wheel. Yeah, I'm not sure how many other watchmakers do it like that, because I wasn't taught it. So we've got one jewel in. And 2. There we go. Nice. Let's give it a good wind. Let's get this thing ticking properly. Whatever works, works. Exactly. Exactly that. And that seems to be the way my current workshop or lead watchmaker thinks. Head watchmaker, that's how he thinks. Whatever works, works. He'll obviously try and do it as proper as possible, but when you're working, say, on a much older watch, it gives you far less ability to do things the proper way. We've got some stickiness. Suppose you think you're smart. Me? No. I just had a problem that needed to be sorted. And this was the easy fix. Yeah, give it a shot. See what you think. I think it's just a really simple solution to what could be a bit of a pain in the butt job. So by the sounds of it, yeah, the lass that I'm working with, who's now been trained up on watches, by the sounds of it, she's been trained by just oiling the jewel on the surface mat of the workbench. It's like good luck. But she's doing alright. Nate, got to go. Prostate problem. Really enjoying your company. Thank you. All in chat. Follow this tomorrow. Good night. Yeah, good night. Hope you have a wonderful evening. We're an hour and a bit into the stream now. We've got this ticking. I might just do a little bit on the dial side. So I'm not sure how much longer I'll be on, but no, thank you for tuning in, Ross. Hope you have a good evening. Yeah, chat here is lovely. Everyone's quite nice. Got a nice little community here. So I quickly demag this. I think there's some magnetism going on. See the magnetism or stickiness. Or am I just seeing things? I might just be seeing things. Is that balance moving up and down a little? Are you referring to some balance wobble? Or are you referring to end shake? I haven't checked the end shake yet. It doesn't look like there's much of a wobble. Actually quite flat. Oh, I do see a hair though. Let me get that. Little hair. Ooh, not much end shake, I don't think. Okay, I'm not sure what I just done. I don't know. I literally just poked it, and now it looks like it should. It wasn't looking quite right. Then I poked it, and now it's fired again, as it should. It almost looked like the hairspring was magnetized or sticky. So I demagged it, playing around a little bit. Now it looks proper. It may have just been slightly entangled. I don't think there's any wobble. I just want to just check. A little bit, tiny bit of end shake. So it's not being pinched. That's where I'd like to see the readings, but from what I can see, everything now looks good. So I'll quickly get a drink. I'll be back in a sec. Give me 1 second, I'll take another little look if you guys are seeing a wobble. I'll let it run just there for a second. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. Let's have a look. Is it moving up and down a little? You see a little wobble in, it. See if it's excessive. You agree? I'm not seeing it from this angle. Let me have another little look. It looked pretty flat when I was looking at side on. Sorry, the glare of the light's probably blinding you. Let me see if I can like show you what I see. Which is a bit difficult, but that might be as good as I can get to show you. If there is a wobble, it is very, very, very minimal. I would have picked up on it if it was excessive. It would have been far more like visually in your face if it was detrimental. The side angle, you can kind of see it is pretty damn flat. I don't think it's like maybe a very, very slight wobble, but it's not something I'm going to pull my hair out trying to rectify. It's so minimal. It means the camera's picking it up. So I'm just looking at OBS because from this angle, I'm looking at OBS now. I'm looking at the camera and I can see what you guys are saying. I see what you guys are talking about. In the camera I'm now looking and I can see, if I try and point it out, here you can see it like shaking side to side. I think the camera is making that look far more than it really is. But no, well spotted. Very well spotted. It is, yeah. I think the camera's making it look far more off center than it really is. Because I'm now looking at, when I'm looking at it, it looks flat and level. I see what you mean though. You can see here, like back and forth like jerks. But that's looking at the camera. Then I look again. Then I look at it front on. That's crazy. So I'm going with my eyeglass again. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying. It's, yeah, it's very, very, very small. It shouldn't. It's not going to affect the timekeeping overall on this watch. I might actually have a balance that is a bit more wobbly, and I'll show you what I mean. Let me have a little look. Do-do-do. So this is a different watch. I think this one's got a bit more of a wobble. I see if it picks up on the camera as well. Oh yeah, there's a way bigger wobble on this. Even the wobble on this watch. I'm trying to get a right angle. Maybe there? Let me know what you think from your perspective, from how you're seeing things on stream. Because I know that this has it's got a bigger wobble than the 2892, but it's still, well, the camera looks quite wobbly, but it's actually going to be okay. Yeah, this one's much more like in your face. Try and get a side on. There you go, that's a bit more of a wobble. But even that, I'm like, because this one I've done a balance staff on. So I've changed the balance staff on this. I've gone through all of the due procedure to make sure everything is, you know, true and level. So I've got head on the calipers and everything looking good. But the second that it's in play, we've got this bit of a wobble. I don't know how I would address the wobble if I wanted to, besides replacing the balance. This is a new balance staff. I do have a tool which is kind of designed to pick out high and low spots within a balance. You might think I sound crazy, but even with this amount of wobble, I mean, I've seen worse that have been used. Not ideal, but at the same time it's like a 100-year-old watch. The only issue that I have, which is why I might try and straighten it out, is because I want to see. One second, let me go turn off my little aircon unit. Because I'm going to want you to listen to something. So right now it runs perfectly fine. But listen to what happens when it goes upside down. I'm going to bring it up to the mic. Now you may not have been able to hear what was happening. I'll do it one more time. I'm just going to bring it up to the mic. You may have heard, I'm hoping that you heard was a little ding, 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 ding. Almost like a little bit of resistance. Because basically what's happening is that wobble could be a bit of a pain. So when the movement goes dial up, obviously the balance then falls. The arms are now in a position where they're grinding along the boot. The boot being your regulator, with this thing here for your regulation. The arm, when in the dial position, it drops and it's kicking the boot. So I do have an issue there. I may have to, it's going to suck if I've got to strip it apart again, but I may have to. I've got to do something. Yeah, there's very little end shake, but it's not necessarily an end shake issue, because if I give it more end shake, then it's just going to allow the balance to drop further down, and it's still going to hit that boot. So increasing the end shake's not going to help, because when it goes into dial, the balance will just drop regardless. Whether it's more or less end shake, what I need to do is I either need to try and reduce this wobble, even if it's just a tiny amount, or try and reduce that wobble so that we get clearance from the balance arm to the boot, or I've got to do some witchcraft. If anything, less end shake would help. Yes, and yeah, I don't think it's going to help by reducing the end shake. Because obviously the end shake, by adjusting the end shake, what we're adjusting is the distance the pivots have between your two jewels. That's not the distance, that's the issue. The distance issue that I have is the base or the bottom of the boot and the balance arm. That's not going to be affected by the end shake. Or it's not going to be affected in the dial up position, because regardless it's going to drop. It's too tight of a tolerance. What I need to do, what I have done, is when the boot is really thick, and this is, it's not ideal, but I have done it, and I've shaved a tiny bit off the bottom of the boot to give it some extra clearance. It's not ideal, but if the boot is thick enough and you've got material that you can play with, just a tiny bit. I don't necessarily want to have to do that. Sorry, I'm distracted now. This isn't the one I'm meant to be working on, but there is material on there. So, reducing the end shake. If I was to reduce the end shake of the jewel, but not affect the height of the boot, then yes, what you're saying, it would work. The downside is, because it's all kind of, it's a one whole unit. It's all connected on this balance cock. If I reduce the end shake, I also reduce the height of the boot. You see what I'm saying? So if I reduce one, I reduce the other. So it negates its effect of what we're trying to achieve. Same in the other side of things. If I try to increase it, I also increase the boot, and then when it drops, it will still hit the same point. what I need to do is reduce the end shake of the balance cock jewel whilst keeping the height of the boot. If you could true the balance would be ideal, absolutely, yeah. I've actually got a video of this in play. 1 second. I'll show you why it's a bit sucky. So that is the wheel in play. So when I was setting the balance, do it one more time. When I was checking its level when I was doing the actual staff on the calipers, it was perfect. It was perfect when it was on the calipers, but as soon as I put it into the watch, it's decided to go a bit wobbly, so it's a little disheartening, but it's the joys of working on older watches, the joys of watchmaking. I will rectify that when I come back from holiday, because my brain's a bit kaput. And I'll quickly show you, sorry I'm getting sidetracked now a little bit. So this is the gold case for the Benson. So we've soldered 2 new arms for the, what do you call them? Lug arms, I suppose, for the strap. So both of these were missing. There were also 2 holes that needed plugging. So I've soldered from the back. I'll see if I can show you from the back. Yeah, you can kind of see. It's got a lump of gold and solder back here. Because there was a big gash that was forming at the top. So that has been plugged. And the same for the other part of the case. I'm not saying it's necessarily my best work, but it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry, just we're off subject. Let me put that back. Interesting. It is interesting how, obviously, going through the changing of the balance staff, everything looked nice and level, but then the second it goes into the watch, it shows a bit of a wobble. I do have tools to help rectify wobbles and balances, so I may have to whip out some tools. It just means I've got to take the balance out, remove the collet again. Is it one of yours? Yeah, it's one of mine. It was a restoration project. Case repair, balance staff, new setting lever spring, and I'm thinking about changing the hands to some Breguet hands. Bought it a few years back, I think. Just never had the time to do it. But alright. You know, I want to be taking YouTube a bit more seriously, so we're going to turn that into a video. So I am recording the process for that. I'll show. 1 second. Kind of give you like a little sneak peek. And that's the case being soldered. So I've got some like smear marks. And that's the gash in the side of the case. So it had a great big open wound. So yeah, that's one of the jobs I'm working on. Was there a buckle in the case? No, it was the strap bars were busted, so there's no nothing. Or are you referring to sorry, not a buckle. You're referring not to the strap. Sorry, you're thinking of it being damaged. Oh, sorry. Heading out the door. I'll see you again mid-August, roughly. Yes, I will see you in the middle of August, roughly. Leaving the stream up to help your stats a tiny bit. Thank you very much, Von Grill. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you sometime in the middle of August. Oh, damn, yeah, this thing was battered. She has had a rough life. Alright. Yeah, the wobble on this balance itself is it's minimal compared to what I just showed you. And I've even seen worse than that. I'm a bit more lenient on older watches just because, you know, it's very difficult to expect perfection from a watch that's nearly 100 years old. You can be a bit more lenient on the older ones. Right, next. I'm just going to put this aside for the time being, and I will assemble up our automatic. What I might do, I might call it a night once I have the automatic assembled. It's now 11:15 already. Holy. Ooh. Okay, so automatic. So the rotor gets screwed in from the back. I've got 3 holes in the plate that will hold our rotor. But we'll do that last. What I'll do first is get all of our components for the automatic. Get the top bridge to cover it. There we go. Get everything oiled and greased. Where'd I put my rod go? Ah, there it is. Thinking I'd lost it. No, okay, you're actually the minute wheel. Wrong wheel. Sorry, I feel about out of focus. Let me just. There we go. So this is the other wheel. This will sit right bang in the middle of our reverser. But first, it's also going to sit on this post. We'll get this unit fitted and we'll flip it over. Continue from the back. Make sure everything is engaging. Flip that over. Got a mosquito in here. Little blood sucking nasty thing. Get some grease on that post I just showed you. And that wheel goes down. Okay. Now we can screw it to the rotor. Sorry, look at the lights playing up a little bit on the camera. So 3 very small screws hold this from the back. Let me just pick them out. One, 2, and 3. And voila, automatic assembled. Main part of the watch assembled. This may be a bit anticlimactic, I'm afraid, because it's now nearly 11. I'm going to call it a night. Yeah, been a few hours. Got decent amount done for this. I'm not sure if I'll go live tomorrow. I've got to pack. I haven't packed yet, and I head out on Friday, so yeah, I don't necessarily want to leave it till the last minute, but I shall be back. I will likely return on the weekend. I think it's 13th, 14th of August. I'll be back, so I'll try and go live then. Yeah. Thank you all for watching and tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a wonderful week next week. As I mentioned, I'm not going to be around next week, but hopefully I'm going to have 2 or 3 YouTube shorts going up. Not sure what days, but I've got the content already shot. I'll just do a quick edit just to get them out. So there'll be some content going up next week, but I'm not going to be going live. And yeah, I'll let you all know how it goes. I'll take plenty of pictures. Maybe I'll make a little post about it. But thank you all very much for joining. I will most certainly have some fun. It's my first time off in a long time. I need it. My brain's fried. Alright everyone, have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you again in the middle of August. Alright, you all take care. Good night.